Good afternoon, guys. For those of you who live up in the Worcester area and you need your vehicle worked on, head to Greasy's Garage. Pete and the gang can fix anything you got. And if you want to learn more about Bear's products, which Pete always carries in stock, go ahead, go into two of the video links in the description box and listen to Bear explain all of his products, whether it be the hair products or the car products. And then for those of you who want to get a cool t-shirt, sweatshirt, mega blanket, go to liptartees.com. Okay, now we've heard about what DeSantis said. So I'm going to cut to in part of this article here. It says where DeSantis is apparently talking with Biden. And DeSantis said Florida absolutely will not comply. In other words, Biden wanted DeSantis to keep people from traveling. So Florida absolutely will not comply, DeSantis repeated. Instituting a travel ban or restriction of movement would be a gross example of federal overreach with no grounding in law or science. We have COVID-19 in check, and you're trying to exert unlawful authority over our state and its people. Biden then tacitly threatened to withhold federal funding and to deny Florida access to COVID-19 vaccinations. Now, before going on, I got to warn you, there's some harsh language coming up here, okay? So close your ears if you don't want to hear it. DeSantis said, "How much do you stand to earn from these vaccines, Dr. Fauci? And Joe, if you continue with this course of action, I will authorize the state National Guard to protect the movement of Floridians." Biden responded, "Address me as Mr. President or President Biden." DeSantis bluntly said, "I will not, and you can go fuck yourself." DeSantis then hung up. Joe Biden is not acting as the president of the nation. He thinks he is a dictator, and he will destroy the U.S. economy like Boris Johnson. Look, tell me something. If DeSantis actually thought that Joe Biden was the real president, do you think he would talk to him that way? If he thought that Joe Biden had actually won legitimately, do you think he would talk to him that way? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we're going to find out a lot of things down the road. Believe you me. Let's go to Zero Hedge here. And I apologize for that language, but I warned you. I warned you it was coming up. And I wanted you to, I didn't want to say F. I wanted you to hear the full thing of what DeSantis said. And DeSantis ain't taking no crap. And as we know, that may not even be the real Biden he was talking to. By all accounts, it doesn't seem to be. McConnell says Trump responsible for provoking attack after voting to acquit. Trump says MAGA has just begun. Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. No question about it. Wrong. Wrong. It was all a setup. It was a complete hoax. Complete setup by the Democrats. Power bills to the moon. Chaos shock as electricity prices across U.S. explode. If anyone has a little extra natural gas in storage, this is the time to sell it and buy a private island. And they're going to put it, they're just going to put it to us. They always have. And then this is why, and by the way, so why is the military allowing these stupid executive orders of Biden's? Because they want people to see just how stupid these Democrats really are. And that this is why hospitals can charge $6,000 or $60,000 for the exact same procedure. Roughly 6,000 hospitals across the nation are starting to reveal the rates they negotiate with the insurers for a number of procedures. Now, one of them is, that I want to touch on here real quick, is with the virus. And they have been making a lot more money. When someone dies, they charge it up to coronavirus because they get 3 times or more for that dead person. But that's going to come to an end. And then it would be a great honor to speak to you. Musk seeks to speak to Putin. And so who knows? Maybe Musk will put a plant in up there. And then the foundation for potential price hyperinflation is being laid. And hopefully before that happens too much, President Trump comes back into being. And then I'm a normal working person. Dogecoin creator sold his coins in 2015 to buy a used Honda. I don't currently own any Dogecoin except what has been tipped to me recently. I gave away and sold all the crypto I had in 2015 after being laid off and scared about my dwindling savings at the time for about enough in total to buy a used Honda Civic. Interesting. And then ex-New York Times boss Jill Abramson responds to unrest at paper as woke activists dictate policy. Did Mr. McNeil's utterance of a racial slur word with no intent to harm anyone hurt readers? Question mark. Again, I think the answer is no. And yeah, I mean, some of these people, they've really had enough, including some of those that work for these media. And then by big government for big government. One of the notable byproducts of the current age of unreason is the popularity of lies as a matter of public policy. Well, it's been going on for a long time, for a very long time. They just lie. They lie about everything. We just didn't know it. But thanks to the internet, we now know it. The sharing of information is just, it's like that. It's awesome. And then Buffett indicator extremes expose remarkable mania in U.S. equities. There's no margin for error in these markets. Buffett, as we know, is part of the deep state. Has been for many, many years. And then Robert F. Kennedy Jr. responds to being kicked off Instagram. Every statement I put on Instagram was sourced from a government database, from peer-reviewed publications, and from carefully confirmed news stories. Doesn't matter. They don't want the truth. They don't care who you are. Elon Musk claims he wants Tesla's new Roadster to hover. Our thoughts filed this one in the bullshit folder, alongside cold air thrusters, full self-driving, and a million robo-taxis. I guess they don't think much of his idea of hovering. Excuse me. And then new video shows massive California container ship traffic jam. Yeah, it's huge. It says a new view from above reveals a vast armada of container ships scattered at anchor across the California's San Pedro Bay. And knowing what we know about child trafficking and everything, I have to wonder how many of those container ships have children on them. Stockman on reefer madness and more. Some marijuana has hallucinogenic properties, and that's what they're smoking on Wall Street at the Fed these days. That's what the Democrats and the rhinos are smoking. And then powerful enough to be spotted from space, fuel tanker convoy explodes at Afghan-Iran border. NASA satellites picked up the blast. Wow. You can guarantee that somebody exploded that with an IED. And then a world that operates by financial cheating and unsound money is doomed. And that's what Trump and them are going to change. They're going to change all that. It's all phony money, but there's no revolt yet. Well, there actually is. It's already begun. Trump began the revolt a while back. And then Morgan Stanley's $150 billion investment arm may soon buy Bitcoin. Keep in mind, the only reason Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are doing well right now is because they think the New World Order is going to be in power. Not going to happen. And then why stimulus doesn't lead to organic growth. There is growing consensus in Washington that the only way to fix the worst economic downturn in more than 70 years is by giving out more free money. Nope, doesn't work that way. And then Japan rocked by magnitude 7.1 earthquake off Fukushima. No tsunami reported, while more than 800,000 households were hit by blackouts. According to TEPCO, so far there has been no threat of a tsunami from the quake and no immediate reports of major damage. Good. And then two hedge fund billionaires spend over 200 million on Palm Beach mansions. They made the money, now it's time to spend it. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Trump does with these hedge funds. And and then Peter Schiff, the Fed has handed the U.S. government a blank check, and yes, they have indeed. Let's see here, what else? And by the way, all these mutual funds and stuff, and the big banks, it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly does happen. And it'll be one of the more fascinating things of the stories of this whole thing. And then Falun Gong adherent dies while imprisoned in China for her beliefs. And it says Ding Gaiying, a female resident of Kunming City in China's southwestern Yunnan province, was secretly sentenced to jail in her beliefs in Falun Gong and recently died in detention, according to a February 9th report by Ming.org. And may she rest in peace. You know, it's pretty sad. You can't even, you know, to be imprisoned for your spiritual beliefs, especially when they don't even hurt anyone. And keep in mind, it's my understanding that, number one, the Chinese finances are horrible. The situation over there is horrible, financially speaking. And apparently, from what I'm told, Xi is trying to set up his own power group to take over the communist regime. So remember, he and Trump and Putin all have tremendous respect for one another. And there's going to be a number of other countries that join in. God bless y'all and have a good day. Bye-bye, guys.